Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2013 Royal Rumble review. Continuing with these Royal Rumbles, I'm Brett Mix from Macho Wrestling 101. Please hit like and subscribe before I get into the Rumble review. It would help get my channel off the floor. I don't have the fancy equipment just yet, but I've got tons of knowledge of wrestling for 3 decades. You won't regret subscribing. I dish out videos every day, so please take a moment to do that right under the video if you can. And if not, either way, get ready for the Royal Rumble 2013 review. Came from Phoenix, Arizona on January the 27th. And a lot of these Rumbles lately kicked off with world title matches, and this one would be no different. I believe 2011 and 2012 did as well, if not 2010. And before that, though, I should mention Antonio Cesaro defended his U.S. title against The Miz at 7:37. He retained. That was before the pay-per-view began. The opening of the match is a world title match, as I alluded to. Alberto Del Rio defended the world title against The Big Show in a last man standing match. So not only a world title match kicking off the pay-per-view, it's a last man standing match that does. And this was a great match. It went back and forth. Del Rio worked on Big Show's arms. He really kept working over his whole body, really. The legs, arm bars, torque the knee, anything to take away the vertical base of an opponent. I mean, it's a last man standing match. That's what your purpose is to do. You have to keep the opponent down for a 10 count. If I stutter over, just a side note, if I stutter over my words, it's because I'm brand new to the talking on YouTube kind of thing. I have the knowledge, but once I'm able to convey this without stumbling over my words, I'm thinking this is gonna be a pretty big channel. So I'm happy with me so far. Like I said, back to Del Rio and the Big Show for a moment. The Big Show and Del Rio, like I said, they went to war with each other. It started off as a wrestling match, but then they started to get creative. Big Show set up a table near the ring, near the climax of the match, and Big Show chokeslammed Del Rio. He went flying probably from 9 feet in the air all the way through the table, and Del Rio got up at 9, but then fell back down right after the 10 count, right before the 10 count, because the 10 count didn't come. He stood up at 9, and then he fell back once the count stopped. That was a good spot. What ended up happening is when Del Rio got back in offense, he duct taped the Big Show's legs to the bottom rope, and at 16:57, he retained the title. This was well done. The fans were into it, being a last man standing match and an opener. Del Rio was the face, Big Show was the heel. I feel like noting that because Big Show is always a face or a heel, but nonetheless, Del Rio got the win. There's some backstage segments. Ziggler cut out a good promo. And up next, we have tag team champions Daniel Bryan and Kane from Hell No against the Team Rhodes Scholars, Damian Sandow and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow, this is back early in their run. This is early 2013, so Damian Sandow didn't yet become the comedic actor that he soon come to be for this character, which was entertaining as all hell. But this was a great match. It worked sort of like a TV match, but because it was under 10 minutes, 9:25 was the end when Bryan made Sandow tap out to the yes lock. It was actually called the no lock back then because their team held no, but the lock, nonetheless, Daniel Bryan helped them win the match and retain. I'll give this match 2.5 stars. And if I didn't rate the opening match, I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm a little bit off guard here today. I think I rated the first match. If not, if I didn't rate the first match, I meant to rate it. It was 3 stars and 1/4. And this one, I rate 2 stars and 3/4. So I'll stick with that. And at the end of the show, we'll grade those up and then come up with an overall rating for the pay-per-view. That's what we've been doing so far, and we'll continue to do that. Next is the 30-man Royal Rumble match. The second year in a row they did a number 30-man entrant after only experimenting in 2011 with the 40-man entrance. This is a lot better this way. This is what we grew up watching. The intervals work better this way. You leave out a lot of the fluff. Even though that 140-man Rumble, I rated that around 4 stars. So they can pull it off, but I think the 30-man is just works better. Ziggler was the number one entrant. He had AJ Lee and Big E Langston, and he got a kiss from AJ before he came out. And Break the Walls Down hit as Jericho came out second. The crowd went crazy as he was returning. So we got Jericho and Dolph kicking off this Rumble, and I remember Jericho was on the top rope, pounding away, and the fans chanted, "You still got it!" And Jericho came back with that, "I never lost it, baby," or "I never lost it." Insert word here. It's a paraphrase. Jericho's his improvisation skills are great. "I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot." Just that was years ago, but just he's great on the fly. That's why he had so much charisma and people consider him one of the best talkers in the business history. So Kofi Kingston and would come out next. He got a decent pop. He's usually memorable in these rumbles with how he stays outside the ring and comes back in. Santino Marella came out. He did the comedy spots that he always usually does. Cody Rhodes actually came up before them with his mustache. He was getting taken more seriously now in 2013 compared to the Rumbles I just watched the other day, where he looked like the creator wrestler with the generic trunks and the generic spiky haircut. Sheamus, the returning winner, came out to a big ovation, and he was taken down name after name. Otunga and O'Neil came out before him, so he would start eliminating guys left and right. Tensai came out. Those two guys are the ones he eliminated. Tensai came out, and there was a big Albert chant. Everybody knows he's Prince Albert or A Train or the Hip Hop Hippo. How many names did Albert have, for crying out loud? I'm not sure. Tensai was one of them, and I actually thought Lord Tensai had potential. And I don't know, don't laugh at me. I just think that he had potential. Goldust and Cody Rhodes Goldust came out as a surprise, by the way, and then him and Cody Rhodes started slapping each other, and they acknowledged that they're brothers here. And then we had a few comedy entrants with Brodus Clay, and then we had a serious one with Rey Mysterio. Then Bo Dallas of NXT came out. Bad News Barrett, Heath Slater. Now there's 8 guys in the ring as it started to fill up. We had John Cena come out at 19. So Cena, Dallas, Barrett, Ziggler, Jericho, Sheamus, and Sandow and Mysterio are all in the ring. And this was Damian Sandow's first Royal Rumble when he came out. Daniel Bryan, we're just remembering here, Daniel Bryan was number 21, and he just unleashed kicks on Cena, and the fans did the "Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks" each time he fought with Bryan. The Great Khali entered. Kane came out. Zack Ryder. Randy Orton came out at 26 to a huge pop. He started hitting RKOs around the ring, and then Jinder Mahal came out at 27. This is I'm not going to say steroids, but pre-jacked up Jinder Mahal, who came out at 27. And Michael Cole said that was the luckiest spot in the Rumble because of all the winners who came from 27, I believe. Big John Studd, Steve Austin, Yokozuna, and Bret Hart are the other 4 winners that came out at 27. That's just from memory. The crowd chanted Goldberg when Ryback came out and dominated a bunch of people. And Ryback was the 30th entrant, and fans enjoyed that. The final 5 of the match were Cena, Ziggler, Orton, Sheamus, and Ryback. Once Orton got eliminated and Ziggler, it became Ryback, Sheamus, and Cena, and fans pretty much knew Sheamus wasn't going to win 2 years in a row. And knowing that made you really think, okay, it's obviously going to be Cena or Ryback, but then is the crowd really this behind Ryback is what we all thought. We thought, no, Cena's going to win, and that's exactly how it happened. Sheamus got eliminated. Ryback said, "Feed me more." The crowd was on his side because of the Cena sucks chants, and because we all kind of wanted a new winner each time the Rumble match happens. Ryback charged towards Cena. Cena lowered the rope. Ryback hung on, and then they did that sequence again, and Ryback kind of sloppily went out this time, but Cena won the match at 55:05. And he's the second. He's a 2-time Royal Rumble winner, joining Hogan, Austin, and Michaels for 2 Rumble wins. We'd actually have a lot more 2 Rumble winners. now in 2023, but this was back then in 2013 that he was the only fourth guy to win 2 Rumbles. Most eliminations in the match was Ryback and Sheamus with 5 each. Dolph Ziggler lasted 49 minutes and 47 seconds. Uh, Dolph Ziggler eliminated 3 men in that time. So yeah, a really good showing by Dolph Ziggler, and he was the marathon man in this Rumble. But Cena ended up winning. So now we got CM Punk and The Rock. This is big match here. I watched the clip version of it, and I'm not sure if it was because I watched the clip version or not, but it looked like The Rock was a little rusty, and you can forgive him. It's been a decade, and he only worked a couple of matches before this. I think that's Survivor Series 2011 match, and maybe that was the only one there. That and the Cena match. Uh, I think that might have been the only two because he wrestles Punk again in the Elimination Chamber and then Cena again at WrestleMania. I'm not sure if there was any in between, but CM Punk's offense looked good, but The Rock's selling was on point. But whenever The Rock hit offensive moves, I felt that's when it looked a little bit awkward. Maybe you can just chalk it up to the chemistry in the ring between a CM Punk and The Rock. They don't really, they're not really that compatible as far as in-ring chemistry goes. Maybe it's just the size of them. Maybe it's just their styles. The Rock can adapt to any style. That's when he's one of the greatest of all time. But the match wasn't bad. They had good spots in the match, and they actually did tell a good story. And the crowd was hot no matter what. It's CM Punk versus The Rock. Come on. CM Punk won when when the lights went out and a people's elbow was going to happen, but The Rock ended up being out, and CM Punk got the victory until McMahon started to match over again after The Rock asked for the match to restart. McMahon said, "Do what he wants. He's The Rock." Pretty much what he said without saying it. But he did order the beginning of the match, and The Rock hit his signature move, finisher move, and ended up becoming a champion for the first time in over a decade, much to Heyman's chagrin, as Heyman was Punk's manager, obviously. The Rock wins the world title for the first time in over a decade, and I believe it was his 7th reign, if not 8th. I believe this is his 7th, if not 8th. And CM Punk's reign of over 400 days is over in dramatic fashion. I'll give this match 3.5 stars. The Rock, The Rock wasn't that bad. It was just a no. It was just a minor nitpick when I talked about him being rusty in the clip version I watched. I should have watched the full version of this match, but I remember there was there was a link right there, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll do it just for that match. And maybe if I would have watched the mannerisms in between the clips, that adds a lot to the story. Maybe I would have rated it higher because I know a lot of people rate this around 4 stars. So maybe my 3.5 would have gone up, but that's still a great rating, 3.5, especially when a performer hasn't wrestled in over a decade. And we had the finish that this kind of finish, so it's still a great rating. Overall, I'd say this event gets a 7 out of 10. We had the good Last Man Standing match. We had the good WWE title match, and we had a really good Royal Rumble. It was entertaining, the Rumble match. I give the Rumble match 3.25 stars, and I gave this match 3.5 stars. So overall, 7 out of 10 is what I'm going to stay with, actually. And I really think a 7 out of 10 is fair for this event. Because it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't bad. It was somewhere in between with a couple cool spots, including The Rock back in wrestling. Who doesn't like that? So if you like these Rumble reviews, keep on staying in tune, and we'll keep pumping out videos every day, not just Royal Rumbles. So again, hit like and subscribe. My style of speaking is only going to get better as I go. If I'm jumping over words, I apologize. I'm still new to this, but this channel is going to get big. I just know it will because I have tons of knowledge from the last 3 decades, and how I convey that message is what I need to work on. But I'm going to get better every single day, and this channel is going to be a fun ride, so stay tuned. I'm Brett Mix for the 2013 Rumble. I'm out.